Welcome to Emotions and Eating with Nicola-Beer. Nicola controlled her feelings using food for 25 years, so she knows how draining it is to be constantly thinking about or acting out with food. Thankfully, having made an amazing breakthrough in her recovery, her mission became about helping others escape the unsatisfying cycle of frustration and self-medication with food. Nicola is determined to help you find your inner strength so you can be healthy, gain confidence, feel great, and be at peace with yourself and food.
Hi, this is Nicola. I hope you're doing amazing today, wherever you are listening into this, whether it's hot or cold, evening or early morning. I hope that you are feeling good, and I hope that if you're not feeling good, then you will feel good by the end of listening to this podcast. I hope that it gives you some inspiration, it gives you something to think about, and something perhaps you can use in your own life, with your own eating patterns, or something you can pass on to others, because we actually learn far better when we share things with others. When we share things, when we teach what we learn, then we actually grow ourselves, and it makes it become more real and powerful in our lives. Which is why, if you are able to leave a rating or review, or to share the podcast, or to share an episode with someone you care about, or on social media, I would be so grateful. Because the more people that get to hear the show, the more people get the help that they need. And the more people stop suffering in silence. I suffered in silence for so many years. No one knew the pain and the agony that I was going through having eating issues. So what I'm going to be sharing with you this week is the power of why. Have you had moments in your life where someone said something or someone did something and it changed everything for you? A life-defining moment. You know when it happens because you feel inside and you just know it's changed the course of your life in some way. Such moments that change everything can be the moment you fell in love, the moment you discover something truly amazing for the first time. It's realising that you could do something that you never thought possible that you could. It can be the moment that something breaks as well. A fight that caused you to walk away from someone. An action that caused you to move away from a situation and never return. It can be that time where you snap and say, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm finishing this. I'm stopping this. Do you get me? My point is that there is a moment that everything that's been circling around you comes to a head, and in that moment something happens that changes how you see something, how someone treats you, or how you treat a particular situation. Although it took me a while to reach the point to where I am today, and I had a lot of bumps along the way, a lot of lessons to learn, each moment I experience has brought me to this point, and every experience has become a teacher in its own way. One of the most important factors in my journey was discovering that for lasting change, you must have a reason why you want to change. If you don't know why you want something, you don't need to ask for other people's opinion all the time. You don't need to wait to get approval from others. You just go ahead and do it. If you know why you want to do something, you'll do it, regardless of what other people say. You see, before I wanted to buy something for myself or do something for myself, I would sometimes need to get support from others. I would need to ask other people's opinion. My reason for myself was not enough. It was like, really in a way, I did not believe in myself or trust myself enough. One Christmas, about 10 years ago, this came to a head and changed everything. It was Christmas Eve and I was at a family gathering at my sister's house. I hadn't seen some of my family for many months, so I was excited to share all my news and catch up on theirs. I wanted to share my plans for the year ahead, doing all the training courses I set out to do. So I told a family member, I won't say who to protect their identity, about the NLP coaching and hypnotherapy and medication courses I plan to do in the year ahead. I wanted them to say, wow, good for you, you deserve it, go for your dreams. But instead of being happy for me, I got the opposite and got loads of questions hurled at me. What? All that training for what? I bet that's going to cost an arm and a leg, isn't it? What are you going to do with it? I explained that I was going to learn all about how to change the subconscious mind so I could learn how to break habits that are making me unhappy. Why on earth are you studying that? You could put that money into property. If you gave me that money, I wouldn't have to worry about feeding the family for decades with that amount. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. I felt like a naughty teenager, that I was being both stupid and selfish. Maybe they were right, I thought. Maybe other people could benefit from my money. Maybe I should save it for the future. All my excitement had been snatched away from me. I felt like a deflated balloon that had just been popped. Like the energy had been sapped out of me. I felt like a heavy, soaked sponge, without the hope of being wrung out to dry. And it also felt as though I'd been punched in the stomach. All my excitement had been punched out of my upper body. I smiled and said, "Yeah, you're probably right. I'm going to go and get a drink." Self-doubt then started to take over my mind. Maybe it was a big waste of money, this NLP coaching, hypnosis, training, therapy training, addiction training. Maybe I wouldn't get much out of it. Maybe it was better to wait another year or two and then see how I feel. Maybe I ought to wait, or perhaps I could do a cheaper course or only part of that course. Feeling so deflated, I drowned myself with wine that night to distract myself from the negativity that swept over me. I knew I was drawn and attracted to those particular courses. I knew I really liked the trainer. I knew that I didn't want to do another course or to wait. But maybe it was a waste of money and there were no guarantees. Thankfully, I passed out as soon as my head hit the pillow, and then it was Christmas. I woke up feeling dehydrated and tired from tossing and turning all night with restless sleep due to the drinking too much wine. My head felt heavy and I was excited about the day ahead. I put on the TV to distract myself from my headache. As I love Christmas TV. The reason I love Christmas TV is because there's always such great excitement and buzz and energy. And I really like the morning chat shows on Christmas because it shows everyone full of happiness and cheer. I was also secretly excited food-wise, as to me, Christmas Day is a day that I could eat chocolate for breakfast. It's a day where it's acceptable to munch on chocolates and sweets all day long. It's a day where it's acceptable to continuously eat nuts all day long. Are you with me? Do you feel like that about Christmas? Do you get excited about Christmas just because of the food? I used to. Starting a diet on Boxing Day, of course, was always the plan. Or maybe the day after that, because who would want to start on Boxing Day? And Boxing Day is an English term that we have on the 26th of December. Anyway, I digress. The presenter was talking to a famous pop singer, and he asked her, "What do you really want for Christmas?" She said, "I've been thinking about that, and what I really want is to study again." "Why?" the presenter asked her. "Well, I'd like to learn more about using music as therapy to help children and adults with different problems. So I've applied to do a master's in art therapy. Let's hope they accept me," she said. Her face was beaming with happiness. Then she went on to explain, "My niece needed speech therapy, and seeing the transformation in her having a great voice coach, I felt so motivated to also be helping children and adults with speech impairments and other things to help use the power of music to change them." Seeing the difference in her made me want to use my talents for things like that. And I don't believe you can put a price on making a difference in the world. You cannot put a monetary value on being happy inside. What's the point in driving a fancy car or having a big home if you're not happy? She proclaimed. She said that it took her years to get to where she is in her singing career, and that she thought that having a big home and driving a new car would make her happy. But it didn't. All she wanted to do was help others. A strong wave of energy came over me. Yes, she was right. You cannot put a price on the value of education. And yes, being happy inside is worth any amount of money. And I have all these habits that I need to break. So learning about how to break habits is going to be useful to me. And then I can share it with others. Yes, I'm going to do the training. Yes, I'm going to help others and myself. It was one of those life-defining moments. I asked myself, what is the alternative? Staying stuck, staying sick, stuffing myself, being miserable and caught in the cycle of wanting to change my food behaviours but feeling unmotivated or unable to do so. If I don't act, I will always do what I've always done, and therefore I will always get what I've always got. Do you know that saying? I love it. And I also love the saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and hoping for a different result. And yet that's exactly what I was doing with my food. It was clear to me that if I don't take any action and learn how to be free from my eating behaviours and some other habits, I must add, but I won't go into them now, that I would remain miserable. As I was thinking of these quotes, while staring at the TV show and feeling excitement and yes inside of me, and the feeling yes just feels, I guess, like the feeling of determination when I say that. When I feel yes inside me, I feel determined, utter determination. And the pop singer then said, "You have to be the change you want to see in the world," quoting Gandhi with such confidence. Yes, exactly, I said back to the screen. Be the change you want to see. Be the change you want to see in the world, Nicola. If I wanted freedom, I had to learn something different. I realised that this was more about breaking food habits. This is about transforming my life, transforming my health, and this was about breaking the cycle of food addiction and food medication, and breaking free from the destructive food behaviours for generations to come. This was about loving myself and loving my life. What helped me was knowing why I wanted to change. The why was the key to my success. In order for any change, we need a big enough why, a reason to change, because this why kept me going. It kept me going through times where I thought, is this a waste of money? It kept me going through times where I thought, is this a waste of time? It kept me going through times where I thought, I can't do this. My reason why got me the results. So why do you want to change? Why do you want to change your eating habits? What is your reason for being here with me today? Why is changing important for you? A powerful why is all you need to get started. I invite you now to take out a notebook or a pen or get your phone out and start typing. Take a few minutes for yourself and write down why you want to change your eating patterns. Why you want to change your life right now. What difference will it make to you and those you love? If in 6 weeks you're completely free, and in 6 months you've had the best 6 months of your life, as you experience the inner peace and true bliss that comes with being free from emotional eating. When I connect to my why, I would pay $20,000 for a 1-hour session if that 1-hour session would free me from compulsive eating and addictive behaviours. Because if I broke it down, $20,000 to live the next 40 to 50 years of my life free from the pain of having unhealthy food behaviours, of feeling down about myself, of feeling frustrated, of self-medication with food, it would be worth it to me. Knowing why had already made a difference to me. Do you know what? After that Christmas, and even during that Christmas, I did not eat too much and I did not make myself sick. And now I have been free of that for so long. It really is a miracle. And that's how I knew having a solid reason for changing was so important, because discovering my why and recognising its power, I had hope.